The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
What's on your mind?
Let 'em know.
Express what's on your mind. What's on your mind?
Let 'em know.
Anything relevant to life, you bring it to the table. Whether you make a move solo or a movement with a stable. No fables, just speak on your decisions. Cause in the long run, it's your voice, your views, your vision. Keeping it real with many messages for you to know. This ain't radio, but DJ runs the show. Entertainment, he rocks it. Politics, he locks it. The host with the most would handle any topic. Don't forget to share your perspective which shines a light. Cause it might make a difference in someone else's life.
Make a difference.
What's your perspective?
Express what's in your heart and your mind. Share your perspective.
What's your perspective?
Let 'em know.
Another edition of Perspectives. This year is a rather significant year for us as we're celebrating 10 years, our 10th anniversary of being on the air here on Perspectives. And we thank you for joining us tonight for another episode. And don't forget, check us out on our newly launched website, www.bronxnet.org/perspectives, or you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching our BronxNet Perspectives on youtube.com. And in recent months, you know, we've done a couple of things here on Perspectives. We actually did a couple of shows on the topic of bullying in schools. Tonight, we're continuing our efforts to bring awareness to the issue with hope. The viewers and perspectives can be shared here, and it might help somebody knowing the deal when it comes to the issue of bullying. Our guest tonight is the author of the new book, Son, I've Got Your Back, in which he addresses the lengths that parents would go to protect their child from bullying. Here with us is Mr. Bernard Roel, and we welcome you to the show, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Good to be here. Good to be here. And again, publicly, thanks a lot for your patience. How's everything going?
Oh, I can't complain.
Good.
I can't complain, you know.
I want to talk a little bit about this issue of bullying because it is something that becomes paramount, especially we're hearing about it nowadays in schools. We know about what's happening in universities and things of that nature. But you put pen to paper and really told your story about bullying.
Right. Well, what happened is I wrote this book, Son, I Got Your Back. And it started out as when my kids was going to school. And they was having a little bit of problem in school. What made me write this was one day my son was coming in, and I noticed that he was having a little problem. So our kids don't think that we detect certain things. We watch you. We know you, you know, so we know everything about you. What happened was, how this book started was, I received a phone call. And something about this phone call didn't sit good with me. So what happened, a young man said, hey, can I speak to Kia Nard? So I said, yeah, hold on. But like I said, I didn't feel good about this phone call. So what I did, I called out to my son, and I said, telephone. So but before I hung up the phone, I said, let me listen to it. And that's what I did. And when I heard on the other end, I said, I didn't like what I heard. He says, hey, you're going to get jumped tomorrow. And he said, by who? And the young man said, by some cats off Fox Street, you know. So now as a parent, you know, I'm going through hoops, and my blood pressure is going up like, oh, wow, my son is going to get hurt. You can't go to school I can't go to work on knowing that my son is going to get hurt.
Talk to me about the feeling of being a father, knowing that your son is being bullied.
Well, see, the thing is, they need to talk to us. And when they talk to us, we can give them some insight. In my book, I tell him a story about what I went through when I was a kid. Because if you don't talk, then I can't share my experience, so maybe you'll know how to deal with it. What happened is that today's bullying is a little dangerous than back then, you know. I had to stand up to a bully. And what happened was my mother, I was going to school, and a young man would meet me by the school and take my money. Now, we're talking 35 cents, but back in those days, 35 cents was a lot of money, you know. So I told my brother about this, and my brother said, well, listen, tell Ma. Well, of course, I think that's the right thing to do. Let me tell my mother. Excuse me. I told her, and her blood pressure went up. And like, what? So I was like, okay, maybe she's going to handle this for me. She's going to go to school for me. But it wasn't like that. What happened was she says, okay, he been taking my money, huh? I said, yeah, Ma, he been taking my money. She said, I'm going to give you another 35 cents. At this point in time, I don't want the 35 cents.
Right.
He's going to take it. I don't want it. So, so she said, you're going to take this 35 cents, but the thing is, you're going to come back home with it. The thing that I love about her is that she made me face my fears. You see, you can't go around being scared. Back then, it really wasn't that bad, but now it has escalated where it's entirely dangerous.
So what message do you pass on to your son, given the fact that listen, I've heard what's going on? What do you tell him?
Well, what I tell him is talk to me and let me know what's happening. Don't come in and not say anything and think you can handle it. It doesn't go away like that. If we can't go up to the school to figure out, can we talk to the principal, what's happening? Do you have security outside while our kids is being sent to school? They go to school to learn. So that we as parents can go and handle that, But if you don't say anything, we'll never know, And if it doesn't stop, then we have to take other measures. Fortunately, I had to stand up to a bully. My mother said, well, this is what you do, and she told me what to do. Unfortunately, fighting ain't the right thing to do, but if it wasn't going to go away, I had to stand up to him. And she told me, you grab his ear and you hold on for dear life, and when you hold on, believe me, he'll stop. And that's what I did. That day I came, and he says, hand it here. And I said, today you're not taking my money today. Now, I'm nervous inside. You're not taking my money. And I reached out and I grabbed his hand and I hold him for dear life. I'm still scared. See, my mother always said, see, a scared person will hurt you, kill you. So now I'm still scared. Now he's screaming for dear life. But after that, now I was in control. Now, once again, I don't want to emphasize, fighting, because that's not where we're going. But sometimes you may have to go that route.
So do you feel that, given the experience that you had, did you want to pass that same experience down to your child, that this is how I handled it?
Well, it was funny. So I told him, I was telling him as to say, listen, you're not the only one that went through this here. You're not alone in this. Let me know what's happening. Let's go up and let's handle this. Let's talk to the administration, the principals, the deans. Let's find out what's happening. Let's get something together. Let's get something together so that we can, not only you can have a clear path going to school, but everybody else can have a clear path going to school. And if these young men is hanging out in the up-and-coming wannabe gang, then we got to clear this area. We got to have more police and more security out there to make sure y'all get there safe. Because basically, after school, the premises only is from the school to that corner. Anything across the street, not in their jurisdiction.
Absolutely. We know that growing up
Right.
in school. What message do you give parents when it comes to the issue of bullying? What should they be on the lookout for?
Well, any caring and loving parent, watch your kids. Believe me, they cannot continue to come in every day and not show a change in them, a behavior pattern that happens not to be normal. So you watch them. With my son, when he come in, I'm watching him. If something is out of place and I know that's not you, I'm going to let you know. So watch your kids. Talk to your kids. Give them the confidence that you can talk to me. If there's a problem, let's handle it. We can work with it together. Let me show you that you're not alone. If you have some scenarios that you can share with your child, share with them.
Okay, but now let's go a little bit deeper. If you say watch your kids, now I'm saying watch my kids. I ask my child every day, how's it going? I'm fine. That's cool. Whatever. Now, if I go through that process, how's it going? I'm fine. I'm cool. There's another layer that I'm going to have to go through. Follow what I'm saying?
Right.
So what
that layer is to watch them, because they're into this thing where listen, they're gonna think that I'm a punk because I brought my parents up here. So when you're talking to them and they still holding that in, then maybe you need to take a further stand and say, let me go out and see what's happening, because obviously you're not gonna tell me. Let me go and do a little bit footwork, find out what's going on. And you'll find that maybe on their way to school, on their way back from school, they might be running into some problems where you can, And at that time, you may wind up stepping in, and in their heart of hearts, they're glad that you're there. And that's when you can say, that's why you need to share anything that might be puzzling you. Share it with me. Let's work at it together, because you're not in it by yourself.
Are you surprised at all by the recent trend that we're seeing with bullying, especially when we look at it at the collegiate level, what occurs at Rutgers University, things that are going on? Are you surprised by it?
Not at all. Well, you know, in a sense, yes, I am, because, see, like I said, back in my era, it wasn't that bad, you know. But I see now it has escalated, and it's escalated to the point now it's done gotten larger. We're dealing with gangs now, you know, and it's not just one bully. It's 2 and 3, and you know, and then and tell you the truth, a lot of them is really not bullies. You know, they're just trying to be part of that clique. You know, and you get them to themselves, and you'll find out that, listen, this is not you. You're just trying to be a part of the clique or trying to be down. So, but other than that, they've gotten larger. So it's dangerous today. And now to hear that the schools are starting to do something about it, this is new, but it's a start. You know, it's a start, and it's a great start. You got to start somewhere. You know, and with that fight, I'm in it with them. You know, so that we can be able to make sure our kids have safety and feel good about going to school.
And I think right now there's the new sense of bullying is a sense of the internet, something that we didn't have that experience of. How do we communicate to parents, you know, how to be a good parent through bullying? I mean, in you know, as preventive as you can be in the area of bullying, given the fact that the internet is out there and you've got the cyberbullying happening.
Well, then, you know, once again, you know, then you have to check, you know, like I said, when I picked up that phone, I didn't get a good feeling. And it might be invasion of privacy, but sometimes you have to go there. Because if you're not going to tell me, I'm going to let you know. That's part of having your back. I'll go to whatever length it takes to have your back. And later on, you'll thank me. And most of the kids, they share that with other kids when they talk about their parents. My kids today, their friends tease them when they say, "Oh, your pops, man, he ain't no joke." But and it makes me feel good, because it's like, oh, so you're listening. So they come back and they share that with me. And they say, "Dad, they be teasing you and telling you how you this. They even be marking you." But see, that lets me know. You can mark me, you can joke, and we all laugh, but you're listening.
Take a quick break and come back and talk a little bit more with Bernard. But before that, we want to let you know that we went out on the street to speak to some parents to hear what they thought about what should be done at home about bullying. Here's what you guys had to say.
I actually think that they should have more educational programs at the school, and they should enforce the fact that both the students and the teachers have to participate in them.
No, I don't think New York City is doing enough, and I don't think the nation is doing enough. I think the government needs to step up and do something.
Bullies should be kept at home. We could stop bullying by being more strict on the bullies and actually making the less strong more knowledgeable on how to defend themselves.
Hi, my name is Terry Williams, author of Black Pain, It Just Looks Like We're Not Hurting, and you're watching Perspectives with Darren Hyman.
What's your perspective? Express what's in your heart and your mind. Share your perspective.
What's your perspective?
Let 'em know.
That wasn't enough.
Aaron Hyman here with you, and we've got Bernard Ruel, who's here with us with the book Son, I've Got Your Back, talking about the issue of bullying, and we've been sharing a little bit about this and talking about, your book and how how you address the issue of bullying yourself personally. But, New York State is trying to take a firm stance in terms of, New York State and the tri-state area. New Jersey just came out with legislation really dealing with bullying and really talking about, taking a further emphasis on bullying. Are you satisfied with what you're hearing with lawmakers when it comes to dealing with that issue?
Absolutely, because it's a start. You see, it was back in my era, they didn't have that. It's just, you dealt with it. You told the principal, the principal might even come outside or whatever. But now to make it a law and to enforce it, yeah, of course. Of course. It's a start.
Right. And want to let the viewers know that what we're talking about is the anti-bullying legislation that was passed in New Jersey. The Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights requires school districts now to establish anti-bullying programs and to train teachers and staff in suicide prevention. So teachers and staff will become more familiar with suicide prevention as well as anti-bullying. And, when you look at the fact of what happened in New Jersey with suicide, many times these are a direct result of bullying, suicide, depression, anger, and misguided anger, and sometimes even violence on another individual. So these are things that really need to be addressed.
Absolutely, and that's why I say we watch your kids, detect certain patterns of behavior, and spend more time to find out what's happening, because to walk around and fear somebody, that's not a good feeling. And when it, like I said, when it happened to me, where I, in my book I shared that part when it happened to me, that's not a good feeling, because I'm a little kid. I like candy, my little candy jawbreakers, and now here he come and want to upset the groove, So I've never experienced that. I'm a kid, so to experience that is not a good feeling. And a message to them, if it happened to you, and put yourself in other people's shoes, it's not a good feeling. And I went through that. I feared that. You know what I mean? But as growing up, and in my book, it goes through a lot. You'll enjoy the book. It's funny. It gives you a little taste of old school parenting. Old school parenting. We go all the way back. Studying the martial arts for 20 years, it's not about hurting anybody. The discipline is there. But today, that discipline might go out the window because now of what you're dealing with. Today I would almost, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I stepped on your shoes. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'll go to whatever length it takes to, hey, listen, I'm sorry. Listen, my bag, or whatever they talking today to try to, talk their language. But, that's it. I think I extended myself. Anything beyond that, once again, violence is not the key, but anything beyond that, I mean, what can I do? But I know that I would never be feared, and I don't want my kid or anybody else to have to walk the street and fear anyone. That's not a good feeling. Not a good feeling.
I'm talking about if New Jersey was doing a good job. Now, what do you feel about New York?
New York is coming to New York. They're working on it, and anything that I can do, give me a call. Hit me up on the email, bernardrowe@yahoo.com, because we need that. We need that law, Listening to a show with you and Coach Lynn, great show, talking about bullying and how bullying starts. And, maybe they're not getting attention. Maybe they're not getting love at home. I don't know what it is, but either way, that need to be worked on, because something got to happen to stop this. No one should have to fear no one, especially at a young age,
Is there any surprise, though, the fact that, we're still talking about this, in the year 2010, given the fact that here we are, we grew up and, we thought that, we had a little situation here and there, but it seems like it escalates now.
It escalates. I mean, the numbers is large. I mean, I think y'all had said something about the Justice Department, 40, 60,000, kids don't go to school because they feared, going to school, and it just brought me back.
Yeah, it's more than 100,000.
Yeah, it brought me back that when when I used to go to school, it makes me say, like, I don't want to go to school. Like I said, I don't even want the 35 cents anymore, you know. But at the same time, it's that, you know, we got to go to school. And with the lawmakers doing everything that they can, our parents doing what they can to talk to our kids, those who have problems and that is the bullying, maybe they need to be spoken to by their parents. Maybe their parents is, because what we say is that, you know, maybe the parents is not doing enough. You know, we are in a situation where there's a lot of parents that are talking to their kids. But, you know, when they get out here and when they get with the rest of the crew, you know, then they're distracted by what's happening there. So that's why you got to continue to stay on them. You got to let them know whatever it is, I got your back. And that's what I was saying to my son here. Son, I got your back. And that's why I emphasize the I. I emphasize the I as to say, I got your back. Forget about it. You don't like it, I got your back. You know. And as you see the book cover shows where he's going to school and he's met by that gang. Now, he doesn't know I'm here, but I'm looking to see how far it's going to escalate. Let's see if it's going to subside. Maybe they're going to let him go and let him walk. But if not, when I come from behind that corner, he's going to be so glad to see me, you know, that it'll be like a Christmas day to him, you know, opening up new packages, presents. But the thing is that that's why this cover is like it is, you know.
To make sure to let everybody know, the son, I
got your back. This parent walked and said, let me follow him to see what the deal is. If you're not going to talk to me, then I got to go out and see what's happening. You know, saving your life and having your back means more to me. I'm going to lose a day off work or a day from school to find out what's happening with my child. To make sure that every day his path is clear and clean to get to school safely and back safely.
I want to tell you that we also went out on the street again to speak to some parents to hear what they thought of what should be done at home about bullying. Here's what some of you had to say.
You have to report it, you have to talk to the teachers, you have to talk to everybody and do whatever it takes to save your child.
I think it's very important for parents to have open communication with their children so their children feel comfortable telling them, you know, if they're in pain. And maybe have a coordinator at the school where the parent can talk to, an assigned teacher or coordinator or guidance counselor, child psychologist. There has to be someone assigned at each school, and there has to be guidelines and laws, and the laws have to be enforced. Because if we have laws and they're not enforced, what's the sense of having them?
Parents should stand up for their children. I mean, teach them how to stand for themselves in school.
Well, certainly you have to play a part in taking in the life of your child, actually finding out what he or she is actually doing and going through. And so if you're a parent out there, we encourage you, have a conversation with your child, real talk, and find out exactly what's going on with your child, because we don't want to see anyone else bullied in the way that we're hearing nowadays. Got to take a quick break, but come back with more perspectives. Be right back, right after this.
According to estimates, over 1 billion people live in appalling levels of poverty. Denied even basic standards of food, water. Nearly half of the world's population earns less than.
And welcome back to Perspectives. Darren Jaime here with you. The book is called Son, I Got Your Back. Bernard Ruel is the author, and just want to get an opportunity before we cut out. Where do people get the book?
You can pick up my book at Amazon.com or BN.com, which is BarnesandNobles.com. And while I'm at it, I want to award you with Son, I Got Your Back t-shirt.
Oh, thank you so much.
Once again, Amazon.com or BN.com.
Thank you.
BarnesandNobles.com.
And so you want to get out there and get your book, BarnesandNobles.com, Amazon.com, Son, I Got Your Back. And what do you want people to take away from the book?
Well, I want you to be able to say, wow, you know, maybe I should talk to my kid. You know, let me see my kids and check out their behavior pattern. You know, maybe something is bothering them. Let me go and find out what's happening with them. Get out there on the street. If they're not talking to you, then you got to go and find out for yourself. You know, show them my book, you know, to see how I dealt with it. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you, but maybe you have a scenario on your own that with your way of doing things, that it'll work for you. So it's very educational. It's fun. It's not stern. So you can laugh. And the thing about my book, I laughed about after it was all said and done when I was being bullied. And me and my son would talk about it today.
All right.
We
Well,
laugh.
how do people get in touch with you?
Bernard Rowell at yahoo.com, BernardRowell at yahoo.com.
All right, Bernard, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us
Thank you,
here
Darren.
on Perspectives. Good
All
to have
righty
you here,
then.
man.
Thank you.
All right, well, that about wraps it up for another edition of Perspectives. I'm Darren Jaime, inviting you to tune in every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m., where you'll be able to catch another episode of Perspectives. For all of us here on the set of the show, our producer, Curlew Burton, and the rest of the staff, thanks for watching. Until the next time we meet, stay safe and share your perspective with somebody else, because it just might make a difference in their life.